So this weekend, I spent some time to explore the capabilities of the Gale platform from Kore.AI, which is Kore.AI's agentic platform. This is the documentation. So you can go to docs.kore.ai Gale agents overview. Um, so it has many features, agent flows, models, right? I explored some of them. Still, there are a few more to explore, but I wanted to share what I have explored so far. So I created a account in gale.co.ai. And if you see, there are these tabs, agents, where you can create agents. We'll see how to create agents, models, prompts, data, evaluation, settings. Let's go into each of these steps one by one and then see what it does. We'll come to the agents at the last, right? So models is where it's kind of it seemed to me like a model registry where um, I can configure the models or define the models that I'll use, right? So you can um, configure a fine-tuned model or an open source model or an external model, right? So if you see here, I have uh, configured this with GPT-4o from my OpenAI account, right? So how you do it is you create a model, right? Integrate models from leading providers such as OpenAI, right? This is what I use. I said next, right? And then I chose OpenAI, and then I said next, selected the model. These are the models you can select, right? And I gave my API key, right? And then I configured OpenAI. If you see, you can integrate with Anthropic, Google models, Cohere models, Azure OpenAI as well, right? And I have not explored this. There is a custom integration where it says connect your models via our easy to use API integration. This is something that I'll explore later. Then the open source model, if I go to open source model and say deploy a model, this is where the Gale platform allows you to select a hosted model from Core's hosted model, right? So these are the models available. Mr. Light, um, then the Notus models, Eleuther AI's GPT-J, GPT-Neo, Facebook, OPT, Google Flan, Gemma model, then some from Hugging Face, from Llama, right? These are the models that are available, which are hosted in Core.ai, and you can select a model from there as well. You can also import from Hugging Face model, right? So if you have a connection, you can import from Hugging Face, right? That is the second way of configuring open source model. And then if you want to fine tune a model, you say start fine tuning, and it allows you, so I'll not say fine tune now, but just to show you how does it do. Um, it allows you to fine tune and then host it, right? So if I say next, these are the base models that you can fine tune. Mr. Right, right? Uh, you can take all of them and fine tune. Again, these are the hosted models from .ai, and then you can do from import from Hugging Face as well. Right? So this is the uh, models. In the models tab, you can go and configure the model that you use for your agents. Prompts is like a prompt registry. Here I can create my prompts, test my prompts, and then commit my prompts, right? So for example, if I want to create a new prompt, I'll say new prompt. Let's say I name it summarizer. Proceed. I explored start from scratch. There is a generate a prompt also. I'll explore it later. So start from scratch is when I click on it, right? I can now give system prompt, right? So the system prompt, I'll say you are an expert in summarizing a given content, right? And here I can give the human prompt. Let's say, here is the content to summarize. And let's say give the content as India a is one of the largest democracy in the world. It has diversity in unity. Uh, uh, I, I was born in a beautiful mm, state in the northeastern part of India. The name of the state is Tripura. Let's say this. I gave this content to it and find any other content. So just making it up. And then here I'll select the model. And remember, I already set up the GPT-4 model. I selected that. And there is a way to also compare between models, right? This is a pretty good features. I have been building this feature, custom building these features many places, but this is there, like you can select. So I have seen this feature in AWS Prompt Management, LangChain Hub as well. This is very good feature, right, where you can have your content compare or evaluate against multiple models, multiple prompts, right? So I'll not show this right now. It's very easy, but let me run this. See, so it summarized it, right? So now after testing the prompt, if I am now ready to commit it, I'll click on commit. And this is one of the design principles that I uh, um stress on, that prompt management and the code management should be decoupled, right? And we should own our prompt. Don't I don't um, recommend abstracting the prompt part with some framework, because this gives more control on your prompt. But net, the prompt management lifecycle should be decoupled from the code management lifecycle. And I should have uh, the same GitLab Git strategy that I use for code. I should have Git strategy type of thing for prompts also. So I'm ready now. I'll commit this. Once I commit it, if I go to, right, prompt register, my prompt is ready here, right? The next tab is data, right? So here I can upload data set for doing evaluation. So for example, if I have a ground truth, so I have a data set that I have a ground truth data set. So this is a data set that I created, which has the question and the ground truth answer, right? So once I have uploaded the data set here, I can go to evaluation, right? And here I can create a new project. Let's say the project name is RAG evaluation, right? Now I'll create the evaluation. In the evaluation, I'll again say RAG evaluation. And here I will now uh, upload the data set. Okay, so yeah, so this is the data set that I had, right? I uploaded it. Uh, the data part, I will come back. I forgot why I had to uh, upload data here, but in the evaluation, I can upload my data set. This is my data set, right? This is the query, and this is the ground truth answer for that. Once I do this, now I can um, run evaluation on top of it. For that, uh, run evaluation. I did something more, which I'm forgetting now. Please run the evaluation to get the insights, right? So let's see. Okay, I have to add a evaluator. Okay, so then I added an evaluator, and this is another beautiful thing that I have seen is lot of uh, evaluators are inbuilt. Like you have the groundedness evaluates whether output accurately reflects the information provided in the input without introducing additional details. Query relevance, right? Ground truth relevance, right? Coherence, fluency, GPT similar, paraphrasing, completeness, right? These are bias detection, banned topics, toxicity, right? These are the evaluators that are already there, right? So let me say query relevance. Assesses the relevance of the output to a user query, right? And then I'll select my model, GPT-4o. This is kind of the LLM as the judge now. Um, I'll keep it the default configurations. Um, this is the prompt relevance measures how well the output completely. Yeah, so this prompt is for the um, LLM as judge, right? So where it will plug in the query, the input, and the output, right? So for this purpose, I'll give the input and the output both as the uh, ground truth, right? But in actual, like your data set will probably like you need to have the model uh, generated output and the ground truth, right? So for now, I'll give it the query. The input, I'll give the uh, ground truth, and the output also I'll give the ground truth, right? And I'll say threshold should be so specify the minimum score to pass the output in a 1 to 5 scale. Like I say, okay, if it is more than 4, right? I'll save it and run it. When I run it, okay, it got a 5 query, right? So this is a way I can do RAG evaluations on my data set. I still need to find out if there is a programmatic way also to call it out, right? But yeah. And finally, the settings have where you have there are certain integrations can you do. It has integrations with the weights and biases, AWS S3 bucket, search assist, which I think this is Core's search engine or search application, and Hugging Face. Monitoring audit logs are there, right? Uh, Analytics, if you create an agent, right, the agent runs, the agent response time, node execution, right, those will come. Model traces, I did not see anything. I need to find out what model traces are. Uh, so, okay, now I see it is there. So model traces, this is good. So model traces show. Okay, so each run, okay, this is the traces from the execution, the model execution, right? Yep. So it shows a lot of the things that I have run so far is uh, provided here. Trace your model's performance across runs. Mhm. And then, yeah, and then your security and control single sign-on API keys and all right. Now, let's look at the agent creation. So I have played around with agent creation also. Some of the things I have not seen here, and it may be my ignorance. I have raised a query in the community. What I have not seen is a memory integration. I have not seen how Gale does shared persistent store through which a shared context can be shared with multiple agents. My understanding based on the exploration is that it's not created as an agent orchestrator, but more like uh, a single agent which can take an input and do some conditional logic, some agent flows to get the answer. But if I want to create a multi-agent system, some of the features which gets very important is memory at the agent level as well as the workflow level, uh, ability to pause and resume the workflow, right, which requires checkpointing, which requires a persistent state. Those capabilities I have not seen, right? But for now, let me go ahead and create a new agent, right? So let's say the agent name is summarizer, right? Summarizes the content. I can give some logos to the model. So I'll just keep it as it is right now, or I'll put this, right? And then I'll say create, just creating it. Yeah, now that has created it, I can now go to flow, agent flow. In the agent flow, I start with the start node, but here I will add a AI node. And the AI node, I'll say text to text. There are many API doc search. I have not explored all of them. Export the text to text, the AI part. So this one is a AI node. On success, I will have a end button. On failure also for now, I'll have a end button. Right? And in fact, what I'll do is I'll delete it for now. I'll move it to the same end button. Right? And here I can now give the node a name. I'll say summarizer. I can choose a prompt from the prompt hub, right? So I had this summarizer. Right? So this is the prompt that I chose, right? And GPT-4o is the model. And that's it, right? So I will, yeah. And then in the end, so the output of this, right? I need to put in the end, right? So I'll say out, and I'll say it's a string type, save. Here, I'll say context, and this is some of the reserved words, right? So context dot steps dot summarizer is the name of the agent dot output, right? That means I'm saying after this is run in the end, this out keyword will capture the output of the summarizer, right? And that's it, right? Knows errors right now, so it is done. If I run it now, you will see it has run it. And in the out, remember I did the out key here, right? This is the output of the summary, right? And it shows the intermediate steps also, right? I can see the intermediate steps as well, right? So this is one part. Now, once I'm done building and testing this agent, right, I can now deploy it. So for deployment, I will then, okay, now I can forgot where I went to deploy it. So this is created now. Let me go back. Yeah, this is where I think this is where I deployed it. So if I go to agent, this is, I am under summarizer. How did I deploy it earlier? Let me go back here. This is where I did the right. And okay, development version. There is a way I deployed it. Okay. Maybe I went to settings. Let's see. And in the not in settings, under agents, configuration. Um, no point. Yep. Yet to deploy your agent current version of the flow will be pushed as a final deployed version, right? So I went to agent endpoint and then I did a deploy. Right. So it is deployed now. Agent is deployed and see it gave me how I can call this module, right? So it would give me a Python code also, right? So let me take this code, right? And it requires a API key. So let me go here and run this summarizer. Right. So this is the endpoint of the agent. I need a Kore.AI API key, right? So let me create the API key, create a new API key, some, right? Copy and close. I will put the API key here, right? So if you see, this is the URL where the agent is running. I didn't give any input, right? I didn't set it up for input because input was already there in the prompt. But that also can be done. I did not do the manage IO. Then the headers, I passing the API key, content type, and the response, right? So if I run this, right, this is the, yep, this is where I got the output, right? So basically, after I deploy it, right, I can uh, then use the agent. Now I was telling that it does not have a way to, like, I did not see shared persistent state, memory, or something like that, right? But one way to do this is if I, let's say if I have an agent deployed using Kore.AI, and if I get this piece of code, right, this can be a node in my LangGraph orchestrator. And the LangGraph has checkpointing, um, it has shared persistent state, it has memory to LangMem. It should be possible to integrate those with a Kore.AI agent that is created here. But I was expecting that, okay, since it's a platform, those things will also be integrated in the platform itself, right? Okay, but now that I have created this agent, let's say I want to undeploy it, right? Then I will go to configuration. I'll say proceed to undeploy. I can undeploy it. And then I can delete it. Although the delete was not working for me, but let's see if this time works. Yeah, it says error deleting agent. So this is the part that I was not able to understand why it is not allowing me to delete it. But this is a way to undeploy it. I can go to agent endpoint again and then do the deployment again. Right? So that's what I have uh, explored so far. Um, I'm running low on model credits. I'll see how um, I can increase the model credits. Probably I'll have to add my credit card and then and continue to explore the features of Kore.AI. That's it. Thank you.